Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL Company Limited, Serene Insurance, and Ghana Link Network Services, the operators of the Integrated Customs Management System at the ports. Indeed, our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, and so if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that transpired on the show. We are also streaming live on our social media pages. That's Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA Ghana. That's on Facebook, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA Ghana. On YouTube, we are streaming live at Ion Port, Ghana. Indeed, we shall also be getting interactive with you, and so you can send us your comments and messages ahead on our WhatsApp line, which is 0559-019-177, 0559-019-177. We'll be glad to share your messages with the rest of the world. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are back after this break. Please stay.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance
for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
All right, so you're welcome back. It's time for us to take a look at some of the happenings in the port and maritime industry in the course of the week. And the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, acting under the auspices of the Ministry of Transport, in the course of the week, organized a stakeholder engagement, on the KETA port project. And it came to light that the first phase of the project would cost some $600 million. Plus, the fact that there was a Blue Career and Business Expo, that's the 2021 conference, it also took place. And just yesterday, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport also inducted into office some new members of the governing board of that institute. Let's take a look at these stories.
The Minister for Transport, Kweku Foresiama, has revealed that finance of the feasibility studies conducted for the development of the KETA port indicated that the phase 1 of that project would cost around $600 million. The minister disclosed this during a market-sounding event on the KETA Port project development in Accra. The event was also used to extensively engage stakeholders on the outcomes of the feasibility studies as well as draw feedback from them. The minister called on the private sector to partner government by bringing in the needed capital, expertise, and efficiencies for the delivery of the project.
The project of this nature are highly capital intensive, and government on its own may not be able to finance it all. The involvement of the private sector is to bring the needed capital, expertise, and efficiencies to the delivery of this project. I am informed that some companies have already expressed some interest in participating in the port development. I therefore look forward to the other private sector investors or interest in this project.
Board Chairman of GPHA Isaac Osei emphasized the importance of stakeholder involvement in the planning process of the KETA Port project.
Our plan is to ensure that no interested party or stakeholder is left out as we get into the subsequent phases of this project. Hence, our determination to ensure that your inputs are captured and incorporated into what we have.
The Director General of the authority, Michael Lugoje, stated that the need for a third commercial port in Ghana has been necessitated by the growing demand for intra-regional trade.
We have seen that it is a port that is feasible, it is viable, and indeed it is attractive. Of course, if we all go back into the history of many ports, starting with our own country, Ghana, we'll notice that none of the ports were built on the basis of immediate first and second year high profitability. It's a very, 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 very progressive journey towards building the port. And the social and economic impact assessment that will be done will answer most of the questions that have been asked here. In fact, the entire community, key stakeholders will be consulted by that consultant that's going to do that job. And all the concerns about the environment, about job creation, about economic and other impacts will be answered, and a report will be produced to guide the process of building KETA Port.
During the presentation detailing the findings of the feasibility studies, project engineer at GPHA Komla Ofori indicated that the project was seen as viable for a potential commercial cargo port that can cater for containerized, bulk, and oil and gas, as well as a shipyard facility. He said, following the feasibility studies will be a social and environmental impact assessment early next year. It is after this that the procurement process for investors would begin.
Congratulations.
Engineer AMOAHMAH has been sworn in as the new president of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Ghana. The ceremony, which was under the theme, The Current Challenges of the Shipping Industry and Its Impact on Ghana, also saw the induction of the 7th Governing Council of the Institute to steer the affairs of the Institute for the next 2 years. The chairman of the Ghana Chamber of Shipping, Ben Owusu-Mensah, enumerated some challenges confronting the shipping industry. He also called on government to put in place a national shipping policy to help tackle some of the challenges in the shipping industry.
Look at the transport cost of imports transiting our ports. Look at the multiplicity of taxes importers have to face in our ports. Look at how today foreign lines dominate in landside activity like shipping agencies and freight forwarding, which must be the preserve for indigenous Ghanaians. All these issues and questions exist because the nation lacks a comprehensive shipping or maritime transport policy to address all these issues.
He also called for collaboration between the CILT Ghana and the Ghana Chamber of Shipping to help provide some solutions to the challenges confronting the shipping industry. The new president of CILT Ghana, Engineer AMOAHMAH, assured to work tirelessly to uplift the institution's progress to a higher pedestal to ensure the advancement of supply chain, logistics and transport in the country and beyond.
We hope to extend the professional boundaries of our influence and traverse uncharted territories, all to ensure the advancement of supply chain, logistics and transport in the country and beyond. I wish to plan to see CILT Ghana achieve its vision and remaining the leading professional body for everyone who works in the supply chain, logistics, and transport sectors.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Luguje, who was the keynote speaker, bemoaned the fact that containers have been stuck at the ports and terminals for over 2 years, which has contributed to the high cost of freight rates. He charged stakeholders to play their expected roles to ensure that these containers are cleared and returned to the shipping lines.
You tell a shipping line to carry a container from any part of the world to Ghana, you have to factor in the risk that your cargo might suffer the same fate that many containers have suffered, and probably charge you higher than you would have charged. You ensure that container will be emptied quickly to return it. So as stakeholders, I want to plead that our various voices will matter. If you're an importer, get all the education you need to ensure you are prepared before your cargo arrives. You can pay the duties and get your cargo to your marketplace or your consumption center and release the container to the shipping line.
Michael Luguje and the CEO of Conship, McDonald Vasnani, were later inducted into the fellowship of CILT Ghana. A two-day conference and exhibition dubbed Blue Career and Business Expo 2021 has been held to connect young people, especially women, to leaders in the maritime industry. Under the theme, Building a Robust Blue Economy, Leaving No One Behind, maritime sector stakeholders were urged to tap into the latest innovations and best practices in ensuring a robust maritime security regime, which is key in achieving the objectives of a sustainable blue economy and overall economic growth. The Canadian ambassador to Ghana, Kati Chaba, said Canada is deeply supportive of women entering careers that are traditionally dominated by men, including defense, science, technology, and engineering. She encouraged organizations to make specific efforts to recruit, train, and promote women who are interested in the maritime sector.
Canada and Ghana are currently engaged in a bilateral partnership to promote women's participation in peace and security through the ELSI Initiative for Women in Peace Operations. Women in the maritime sector, particularly the maritime security sector, are an important part of furthering the women, peace, and security agenda.
Dr. Kofi Mbia, a maritime law consultant who delivered the keynote address, lamented that whereas Africa's 38 coastal states had a total coastline, including islands covering 48,000 kilometers, as well as over 100 port facilities which handled containers and various forms of cargo, the continent held a meager stake in the ocean-based economy. African-owned ships, he noted, accounted for about 1.2% of world shipping and about 0.9% by gross tonnage.
Most African countries suffer from sea blindness and have failed to utilize the oceans for their development. This could be as a result of ignorance of the opportunities within the ocean economy. It could also be because of a lack of capacity and could be due to the absence of a political will.
Dr. Mbia regretted that Africa was the least maritime conscious continent of all the continents in terms of ownership of vessels, volume of seaborne trade, including the value of fish landings per capita.
We as a people must be interested in the over $1.5 trillion ocean economy with the potential of providing over 40 million jobs by 2030 and even further by 2063, as has been pointed out by the AU.
The Special Rapporteur for Piracy and Maritime Security at the African Union, Kathleen Korte Ayensu, said the expectation of the AU was that each member state would take necessary steps to develop a maritime policy in the next 3 years.
Every country should have its own plan, what you plan to do in the maritime sector. For the next 15 years, we need to build up, in my opinion, a minimum of 20 to 30% female capacity all round in the blue economy. So whether it's the Navy, whether it's with fisheries, whether it's with commercial shipping, what have you, we need to aim for 20 to 30% of females.
The commander of the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Training Center, Major General Francis Ofori, in his remarks, said the maritime sector remained a key contributor to the country's economic growth.
The development of our blue economy implies a paradigm shift. It requires that we change many of the ways we are used to doing things to secure shared prosperity.
The executive director of Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute, Dr. Alberta Sego, highlighted the importance of the conference.
We hope to do more and ensure a thriving blue economy in Ghana and the Gulf of Guinea. And we invite you to be part of us through our membership forum.
The two-day conference was put together by the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute, a maritime transport non-for-profit organization, in partnership with Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA. Meanwhile, the plenary session of the Blue Career and Business Expo 2021 created multiple opportunity exchange platforms for young people to interact with maritime industry leaders and contribute to a robust economy in Africa. They were asked to build their capacity in the industry in order to take full advantage of its potential. Gertrude Adra Ohene Esienim from the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers London urged that more sensitization programs should be held for girls who are interested in the maritime industry.
Sensitization, as Rukia said, is very important to be able to nurture people right from the beginning, like what GOIL has put together with WISTA Arts we are organizing today, for people to be aware of the opportunities right from when they are growing up, so that people would take it as where they want to work, not fall into it by accident like I did. So it is more about the programs we put in place right from the beginning for these young ones who are coming up to be able to take the opportunities that are available to them.
Esther Jebidonko, the General Manager for Marketing and Corporate Affairs at the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, called for early sensitization of younger females from the senior high school levels to generate the needed interest in the maritime industry.
We should start thinking about going to the second cycle institutions to actually expose them to some of these opportunities that we have in the industry. We should be thinking about even embedding it in our school curricula, so that it can give them that interest from day one, and then they get to know the value of the industry.
Sylvia Asana Owu, the Deputy CEO of Ghana Shippers Authority, called for deliberate policies to compel institutions to increase women participation in the industry.
The policy on gender equality and for women and girls states that as part of the implementation process, every ministry is supposed to have a gender desk so that we can evaluate and monitor the progress of women who are employed or who are getting to the top within the various sectors under the ministry.
At another session, the General Manager Operations at the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, Gavin Amavi, said Ghana's ports have become more efficient in the sub-region as a result of digitalization.
With paperless, much more efficiency has come in, trying to drive away the issue of human intervention. The human intervention is reduced, such to the much pleasure that corruption in some areas has been reduced by doing away with lots of human intervention.
Ghana's leading oil marketing company, GOIL, is assiduously working towards achieving zero tolerance for road accidents. GOIL has developed a haulage management plan constituting a number of strategies to reach that goal. One of such strategies recently embarked on by the company is the organization of a comprehensive defensive training program for more than 600 drivers of its bulk road vehicles. The drivers underwent courses in factors and causes of road crashes, vehicular fire protection, stress and fatigue management, vehicle maintenance, and the hazards of driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. The operations manager of GOIL, Engineer Dennis Amui, indicated that the training is primarily geared towards inculcating a positive driving culture among drivers of GOIL vehicles.
I want this training to be part of them. We want it to be a culture so that anytime you meet a driver driving a BRV branded GOIL, you know that this is an experienced and a professional driver. They will behave professionally as required of them. In fact, safety-wise, security training, we all have to come into this.
The distribution manager of GOIL, William Mensah, also explained that upgrading the skills of its drivers is in line with the company's commitment to the environment, health, and occupational safety.
Of course, GOIL brand, we stand for safety, we stand for the environment, we stand for everything on regarding health, safety, security, and environment. So we believe that this will end up promoting that.
The beneficiaries of the training exercise expressed their commitment to apply the training in order to avoid accidents.
Exercise here by a boy, papa. Men because company be exercise CBA. So a woman a different anyway. We know him the no
school yeah well. Aronjama a GOIL drivers no. A school a boy ye pa. Ochana me kotana me car mu am ye sure say me driving no difference be dey e be bam me da GOIL asi pa say o ma ya ade bi say ai dey ama drivers.
All right, so you're welcome back. And those were some happenings in the port of maritime industry in Ghana. Now, tonight, our discussion will be twofold. One, we're talking about the impact of road carnage. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll continue with our second discussion. Please stay.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. My goods are on the IC, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the project and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
All right, so you're welcome back. It's time for us to zoom into our second topic for discussion tonight. I mentioned that we are talking about girl empowerment in the shipping industry, and we all agree, we've always said it, that the shipping industry or the maritime industry is male-dominated, and there are efforts to mentor young ladies to take up interest in this particular industry? I mean, in Ghana, I think that we are a bit better in terms of finding women in management positions in the various, agencies in the shipping industry in Ghana, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. And so tonight we are going to be discussing what opportunities lie in the blue economy, the shipping industry, for young girls who want to take up, this particular industry or sector as their profession. And so we have tonight Dr. Alberta Amasego. Dr. Alberta Amasego is joining us via Zoom, and she's the Executive Director of the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. Thank you very much indeed, Doc. I can see you. Can you hear me? Can you unmute your mic, Doc? Respectfully? Yes, and let me say good evening. Well, I can't hear Doc. I'm sure they would work it out, and then we would have you. We can see you clearly. I mean, but the sound is. Is it okay now, Doc? Good evening once again. Okay, so they work Doc's lines, and let's see if it will be okay. And also in the studio with us is Bridget Padike Sylvester. She's a student at the Regional Maritime University, RMU. She's joining the discussion tonight as one of the mentees, so to speak. Good evening, Bridget. Thank you very much indeed. And what do you know about the maritime industry? What do you know about the maritime industry? In terms of the fact that, please put on your microphone. In terms of the fact that they say, yes, it's a male-dominated area, and Bridget wants to venture into this particular industry. How, have you started, warming yourself into this industry?
Well, I really is interested in the trading issues.
Speak up.
I'm really interested in trading issues. Yes, so I intend on continuing with my education after the first degree, that's entering into the maritime law, or I would start up maritime businesses, probably aquaculture.
So is this the reason why you enrolled at the Regional Maritime University?
Actually, I had this interest in solving trade issues, but my dad recommended RME for me. Then I applied and got admitted. Okay. And I'm a final year in the Port and Shipping Administration.
Right. Port and Shipping Administration.
Yeah.
Good. Let's go on to the lines again and work it out and see if Doc is okay now. Hello, Doc. Good evening once again.
Hi, good evening. I hope you can hear me now.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Okay. We are glad to have you. So tell us, first of all, about the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. What is it? What do you do? Somebody will say you are in Ghana. Why Gulf of Guinea?
Okay. So thank you once again, and good evening to all our viewers. So why Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute? I get that question a lot.
Absolutely.
But maybe when I give a quick history of the institute, then it will all make sense.
Okay.
So the institute was actually, it commenced as a community of maritime stakeholders to come together and discuss occasionally issues pertaining to maritime safety and security. And as you may well know, safety and security is not something that one country alone can handle. It's a collaborated effort. So it goes beyond Ghana, the borders of Ghana, and that's why the name Gulf of Guinea, because it expands throughout the Gulf that we share together with other maritime nations. That's why the name Gulf of Guinea.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And how long have you been working?
Yes, actually, the Institute commenced in 2010. Like I said, it just started as a community of stakeholders to get together every now and then to discuss issues pertaining to maritime safety and security. Then as time went by, it was evident that the discussions by the community was actually filling a void, the void of the local perspective or indigenous perspective about these issues on the international front. So then the community metamorphosized to become a think tank. And this think tank was just to create a platform that we called the International Maritime Working Security Group. Maritime Security Working Group, sorry. And this group met every now and then to discuss pertinent issues around maritime security and safety in Ghana and also in the Gulf of Guinea region. And these discussions birthed a number of recommendations with which we drive our activities at the Institute. So we are actually focused on research, capacity building, and advocacy. And now we have even expanded wider our operations to encompass blue economy, looking at the discourse that development is geared towards now. So we have positioned ourselves both capacity-wise and also research-wise to be the CSO engaged in blue economy in Ghana.
Right, right. Okay, so I know that during last week you were able to assemble some players in the maritime industry for the Blue Economy and Expo Fair, and we want to find out what the overarching objective was and whether indeed after the event you think that that objective was realized.
Okay, thank you very much. So the Blue Career and Business Expo is a program we put together as a result of one of those meetings that I mentioned earlier. In one of the discussions, we brought together female leaders in the maritime sector to discuss the role of females in maritime security. And the discussion actually opened up to include fisheries and shipping and all the other sectors we can find within the maritime industry. And in the discussion, there was a concern that was raised by one of the participants who was a student. And her concern was that she was training in a field, in a maritime related field in school, but then she had absolutely no idea what she would do after studies or where she would work, where she would fit after studies. And so she was asking for more light to be shed on the opportunities that exist for her and for other colleagues that she was studying with. And so after the discussion, we sat back and thought that, well, this is what we do. We find the problems, we bring the experts together, they make recommendations, and we carry the recommendations and push them through different projects and activities. So if this is coming up, then why don't we put together an event or a series of events that will solve this problem? And that's what gave birth to the Blue Career and Business Expo, with the idea, with the aim of creating a platform for young people who are still in school and those who have completed school, early career graduates as we call them, to interact with maritime leaders, to see people who are in the industry, what is happening, and then to fit themselves if they require building of the necessary skills and capacity to find themselves in the space, then they project their activities from there. But then to provide that basic platform for them to know what exists is what we wanted this event to achieve. And to the best of my knowledge, we achieved that 100%.
Right. Okay. I'll still stay with you a bit, Doc, but let me tell you that we have one of the mentees, a student at the Regional Maritime University in the studios, Bridget Padiki Sylvester. She's here with us. Bridget, I'll be coming to you to find out from you what your take-home was, when you went for this particular, fair and expo. But let me stick with you, Doc, and find out the theme for this particular event was building a robust blue economy, leaving no one behind. What informed that?
Okay, as we may well be aware, there is a trajectory in recent times to look back at our oceans and our water bodies in general and to center development that is sustainable on these spaces. And this is actually something that all countries, especially maritime countries, are looking up to do. And the African Union is actually championing it so much that, as we heard in the Expo, the Special Rapporteur on Maritime Security Issues, Honorable Ayensu, made mention of the strides that African Union has set for various countries to take up this blue economy agenda. And this is a discussion that is up there, it's a high-level discussion. And the question that remains is, how are the youth, who we say are the future of every country, how are they plugging into this? Because this is a discourse that when we do it right, serves as a legacy, for the younger ones, for even the unborn generations. And so how do those who are the future become part of what we are saying is the future for sustainable development for our countries? So this is the foundational question that gave birth to the theme for the Expo, leaving no one behind. It's not only at the high level, it's not only at the managerial level, but then also how we can build the capacities of young people to be part of the discourse.
Right. Okay, so I'll come to Bridget in the studio. You were there at the event, and there were plenary sessions where, women were brought in, women who are in the industry, women leaders were brought in to mentor you and to talk to you on various topics. What was the takeaway for you, at the event?
Maybe I would say I don't really have a take home, but I would recommend such an event or conferences to be happening frequently so that ladies in the industry can know the opportunities or can get to know more opportunities or businesses that are there for them. Yes, so I'll just encourage them to learn hard so that they can be exposed to a whole lot of things, because we saw women in the industry, like we saw them and we were really proud. We all wish to be part of them. So I'll just encourage these events and conferences to be frequently done so that we can learn more about the maritime business.
Was this your first?
Careers.
Was this your first?
Yes.
Your first?
Actually, it's my second conference. I was exposed to all of this through my internship. Yes, through my internship. That's Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. Right. I can say without that company,
Dr. Sego's place.
Yes, okay. I won't be able to engage myself in all of this. Yes, I have really learned a lot. So I would really encourage the people, our mentors that we have taken them to at least have internship offers so that students or young youth can also be engaged or open up to these businesses and careers.
How easy is it to get a mentor, in this industry? There are a lot of women in Ghana. How difficult is it to access them?
It's not really difficult. You have to read about them and, let's say, study how things are going on in the maritime industries. Maybe conferences, you register for conferences, and they are really open up When you get them, when you get close to them, they are really open up. They give you your card, they give you their cards, their emails, so that you can contact them and they can teach you in all what you are supposed to do. So I don't see it really difficult. We just have to make the step.
So as and when you want to access them, you call them, they respond, you ask whatever questions you want, and they are able to answer you and guide you as to where you want. You know.
And I can say my mentor is Dr. Albert Sego.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me still stay with you a bit and find out. You are recommending that some of these forums be organized more frequently, so that we can up our game in terms of sensitizing and educating the girl child, and engendering their interest in the blue economy or the shipping industry. You are at the RMU.
Yes, please.
You have other colleagues who are also coming up and interested in this. When in your discussions with them, what are some of the interest areas they mentioned to you?
Well, lots of them want to open up their businesses, and a lot want to be at the port. Because I can say that they don't really know what they really want because they are not really exposed. Because let's say internship offers, when you get to 200, 300, you have to have an internship, but most companies do not accept us. So it's really difficult for them to know the opportunities out there. So someone can just be like, oh, I don't know what to do after school. Me, for instance, I didn't know what I can do, like possibly do after school. So I had my internship at the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. That's why I'm really pinning on it that this internship offers should really be given to, like the opportunity should be given to the students or the youth so that they can be exposed.
Absolutely. All right, so let me come back to you, Dr. Sego, and find out what your assessment of women participation in the shipping industry is, with particular reference to Ghana. Doc, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
I asked what your assessment, is of women participation in the maritime industry in Ghana. I think Doc is having problems hearing me. Can you hear me, Doc? Hello? Well, I think I understand, a line is quite gone. They will work it out for us once again. But let me come back to the studio and speak to Bridget Padiki Sylvester, who is a student of the Regional Maritime University. She took part in recently held Blue Career and Business Expo. It was a two-day event put together by the Gulf of Guinea Institute, and you heard us speak to Dr. Albert Sego, who is the executive director at that particular institute. And so in your earlier submission, Bridget, you made mention of the fact that, yes, perhaps after the first degree you want to do maritime law, or maybe you may consider coming up with your own business. What are some of the options apart from these two? Which one is dear to you, pursuing maritime law or setting up your own business?
The maritime law.
Okay.
Getting a second degree on it. Okay. Then still open up a maritime business. Yes.
So have you identified some of the maritime lawyers we have in Ghana, particularly women?
Actually, not really.
Okay, because I know Madam Joyce Bao Mukhtari is a maritime lawyer. Yeah, she's a former deputy transport minister. You might want to perhaps contact her and see if she can guide you, and I'm sure she'll be very willing to do that. So maybe from here we can link you up with her if you so wish. Yes, so I understand we have Dr. Sego back on the line. Good evening, Doc, once again, and thank you for coming back.
Good evening. The internet is not being fed to me this evening.
Absolutely. But we'll do our show. Don't mind it. We'll sail through. So I just sought to find out from you what your assessment is about women participation in the maritime industry in Ghana.
Right. So from the time I was in school till now, I would say there has been some improvement in the participation of women in the maritime sector in Ghana. However, there is still a lot of room for improvement. I mean, I would rate it high when I see 50% participation of men and women in the industry. Not until we reach there, I would still say there is a lot of room for improvement because as it was demonstrated at the Expo, the maritime industry is wide. It's wide. It's not restricted to shipping. It's not restricted to fisheries. When you look at the participation of women in Ghana's maritime industry, you realize that a chunk of the female participation is contributed from the fishery sector. And most of these female even belong to the informal sector. Hardly will you find women with high education involving in fisheries activities. And this is a sector that actually contributes a lot in terms of social contribution and economic contribution in Ghana. And it will be my dream to see women taking up high managerial positions in fishery sector, in managing the fishery sector. The entire value chain, from capture to marketing to consumption, you know, and this is a whole business value chain that women can position themselves in each stage of the value chain and contribute to a better fisheries industry. Away from that, we have oil and gas, we have technology, maritime technology, we have shipping, maritime transport. Maritime transport, as we also emphasized at the Expo, when we talk about blue economy in the African context, it goes beyond the ocean. It also includes our aquatic water bodies, our inland water bodies. So talking about inland transportation, inland waterway transportation, they are all other areas that sometimes we overlook or we do not even consider as part of our entire maritime estate. So the opportunities are endless. We have existing ones, we have potential ones, new ones keep coming. We have an issue now with these seaweeds, sargassum, that are flooding our coasts every now and then. Can we go into research to find out what we can use these seaweeds that have been tagged as nuisance? What can we use them for? Can we look at using them for fertilizer, for feed? Example, for feeding pigs for piggery, or even for fish farming. There are endless opportunities. We have shellfish. There are people who are also into shellfish collection. When they collect these shellfishes for their meat, we discard the shells. Is there any way we can look into the use of these shells? Is there an industry for it? Can we get people going into shellfish, the shell production, extraction of certain beneficial nutrients or materials from the shell for something else? I mean, I can go on and on and on about the various opportunities that exist, and there is room for everyone, including the females. And it is my personal agenda, if I should put it that way, to push for females to open their eyes to these opportunities, to not to limit themselves. They shouldn't limit themselves to, when we talk about maritime. I remember when I was personally, I'm a product of the Regional Maritime University, by the way.
Okay.
And I remember as I was in school, I always had this question: what are you going to do when you finish? I mean, and the first thing you think about is either go and work at the port, or if you did marine engineering, you probably go to sea.
Yeah.
And then after these two options, what is there for you? You know, and for the females who are a bit conservative about going to sea, then their options remain very limited.
Yeah.
But that should not be the case. And that is my personal mission to, together with the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute, this is our mission to bring the young people on board, you know, in the discourse, not to leave them behind, not to discuss at the very high level and finish and push, you know, policies down the throats of people. No, we want them to be on board, want them to play their part, and people can play their part well if they understand what the focus is.
Right. Okay. So I know in your earlier submission you made mention of research, capacity building, and advocacy. Some of the things that you do at the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute, and I just want to find out from you. I know this Blue Career and Business Expo was one of the things that you did to promote women participation in the industry. What are some of the things you do apart from this to engender women interest and participation in the industry?
Okay, so this Blue, I want to call it BCBE, the Blue Career and Business Expo. It's much easier that way. So Absolutely. This BCBE event was part of what we call the Ocean Literacy Drive at the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. We started this drive with how do you call it? A competition, a quiz competition between students at Accra Girls High School and some students in a Canadian high school. It was an online quiz where we prepped them about basic information on the oceans. We had that event on the World Oceans Day this year. So in that event, after the quiz, we crowned it up with a sensitization event. And since it's a girls' school, we went there with other maritime leaders. We made sure we balanced males with females. We took them to the school. We sensitized the young people about maritime opportunities as well. I mean, as they would be completing their high school education and aspiring to go into the tertiary level, we wanted to build their knowledge base about what opportunities exist in the maritime sector they could branch into. And it was very helpful for them. I think most of them had not even heard some of the courses, you know, that they could offer to lead them into the industry. So that's it. We would continue with that, engaging students at the high school level and also at the university, the tertiary level. And that is just one of it. Information sharing is one of it. We also want to go beyond just sensitization to also start building some specific skills that are necessary for young people to position themselves well. You know, the maritime industry is a unique one, you know, and there are certain skills that you would need to have. Some soft skills, some technical skills. We are looking at setting ourselves up to be able to assist these young ones, build their capacities, bring experts on board, bring some industry players on board to assist them. And we are hoping also that it will not just be private or industry players, but we are also looking at government support also with what we are doing at the Institute.
Okay. All right, I'll come back to you, but let me take one or two messages, and then we have been told by my producer that we can activate the phone lines now for people to call in and perhaps ask questions and contribute to the discussion. I think this first message is on our first topic. It says, another way to help control this driver fatigue is to get the various transport unions to form companies to manage the transport business. Thus, a private individual can only invest, buy, purchase a bus or vehicle, and leaving the management of these buses to the said company that's to be created. Now, after this is done, run an urban transport system on a minimum of 22 hours. That's we can do 24 hours depending on the demand. And drivers will be paid on monthly basis, like what is done in STC, and will only drive for 6 hours with a 3-tier shift system. Well, that's somebody who sent in this one. Thank you very much indeed. I think it's a very good suggestion. This one says, thumbs up to Dr. Alberta Jonah. We pray we get more young professional ladies into the maritime sector. This one is from Joseph Oliver Bowers. You can also send us your message via our WhatsApp line, which is 0559019177. And like I said, our phone lines are activated now. You can call in and ask Dr. Sego or Bridget any question on the topic we are discussing tonight. So let me come to you, Bridget. Dr. Sego mentioned a lot of opportunities, vast opportunities in the industry. I mean, she says it's limitless. Were you aware of some of these? It's like you were not exposed to some of these opportunities at all.
No, not really.
Okay.
I didn't know about some businesses. Yes.
I'm sure she will mentor you and, give you guidelines as to how perhaps to venture into some of these things and make the most of them. Now, let me find out from you what the level of support is that you are expecting from industry players. I know Dr. Sego and Co are forthcoming. You mentioned that sometimes when you pick your phone, you call some of these women in management positions in the industry. They're able to oblige you, they respond, and then they answer whatever questions you have. Perhaps you send them mails and they're able to, reply and then give you guidance and direction. What level of, what do we call it, support are you expecting from, your mentors?
That is with the job opportunities. Yes, and they should educate us on. They should educate us about the maritime businesses and careers, and the internship offers is really, really important. Right. Yes, because I'm an example.
Absolutely. All right, let's go on to the phone lines and welcome Dominic from Nungwa. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, please flow, Dominic.
I want to commend the Maritime, Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute for such a lot of program that they organized. And it was a very great opportunity for the youth to acquaint themselves with the maritime industry. But then one problem continues to linger on. That is the unemployability of the students after school. A lot of institutions out there that are maritime based, I think in my own perspective, as part of the corporate social responsibility, they should be able to, absorb students for internship programs and all that to acquaint them with the maritime industry practically. But then most of the time, students go for internships, and a lot of companies just, they reject the students. Some, they decline admitting them for internships and all that. And most of the time, these institutes and government bodies talk about what we call sea blindness, that a lot of people don't know what is going on in the industry. They are not acquainted. They don't know the opportunities that are in the industry, and they should be opened up to opportunities in the industry. But then a lot of people come to the Regional Maritime University, they finish and they're in the house doing nothing. Meanwhile, a lot of these companies could, give them even internship opportunities to acquaint them practically. But when it comes for job, recruitment, they require 4 years experience, 5 years experience, and all that. Meanwhile, they don't give the people the opportunity to actually, have the practical orientation to the things that they study in class. That is very bad. Right. Thank you very much indeed, Dominic. We are grateful. Very valid points you made there. Thank you very much indeed. You can also call, and the number to dial is 020-5523. 020-552-8353. That's the number on the screen there, and you can contribute. Doc, you heard the points raised by Dominic. He thinks that some companies, private companies, are unable to take interns, from the industry, and that, in a way, is inhibiting the participation of women in the industry. Have you had cause to receive complaints of such?
Okay. Thank you, Dominic, for the question. Actually, I would say that, as you may be well aware, unemployment, as it is a general challenge in the country. And we have a situation where we are producing a lot of graduates, and we have limited job openings. existing job openings. So as a young person who is under training in school, there are some extra steps I would recommend that you take.
Doc,
things will not come on a silver.
Doc, you come in.
Yes.
You come in with the steps, but let's go on to the phone lines and welcome Joseph from Taifa, Burkina. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes.
Yes. So I just want to congratulate Dr. Jonah. I'm Joseph Lukabao. She was the General Secretary for the Maritime Students Association when I was in first year. Yes, and I believe she made mention of very important aspects. Like when Dominic called earlier, he was talking about opportunities for graduates from the regional maritime. But I believe, as she said, and looking forward, empowering these graduates with soft skills and also not focusing mainly on the jobs in the port. And there are other opportunities. And so thumbs up to the Institute, and we believe that this would help the likes of Bridget as they organize such programs to realize that we have more in the industry. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joseph.
I was the one who sent the comment on the All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. We are grateful to you for your time this evening. Yes, Doc. So you can continue with the steps that you were about enumerating when Joseph's call came through.
Okay. So as I was saying, because of the competitive nature of having jobs, finding jobs as graduates in this country, I would recommend that as a student, you keep your eyes open. There is a wide information base on the internet. Look out for the opportunities. We are creating some of these opportunities, the platforms for you to get information. But then I would recommend that students should use the internet in their favor in terms of finding opportunities. That is first thing I would share. Secondly, I would say that with the internships, sometimes you may have to do some volunteering work, and it really helps because you may not always have the opportunity to do internship, especially paid internships, because of course some of the companies are also running on very tight budgets. They cannot keep taking in on more workers. But then when you volunteer, you put yourself in a position that you build certain skills that your peers may not have, and it's easier for you to find something to do when you are done with school. That is another way of positioning yourself in a competitive way. Then that is on the part of the students. I mean, you positioning yourself well to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that we are sharing here this evening.
Yeah.
And then also to the job to the job market, let me put it that way, to the industries, to the areas that we are focusing this discussion on, the maritime areas. I would also say that we should also be mindful that there is a skill set that is being built in the universities, and we should make a conscious effort to direct our need for graduates, for the skills we require to these training institutions. We should work hand in hand with them, because sometimes I remember when I was in school back then, it was difficult to know what the working requirements were, because I realized that when I completed school and I started working, there was a huge disparity between what was required in the industry and some of the things we were learning in the classroom. Is there a way that the academic institutions can bring on board people from industry come and give seminars, to come and teach even some of the courses, to come and talk about some of the skill set that is required, so that we have tailored training. Then at the end of training these students, they come out from school, it is not so difficult now to be looking for whether students have the necessary skills, they don't have the required skills to do the jobs that are available. So these are some of the things. I think we should work hand in hand. This is a coordinated effort that should come from both sides.
Okay. All right. Doc, so finally, we have barely 3 minutes to wrap up. I just want to find out from you whether there were any recommendations that came up during the Blue Career and Business Expo, just briefly, and then we wrap up with you.
Okay, thank you. I think the recommendations, I have shared some of them even alongside as we've been discussing this evening. But the one that stood up is that we should be deliberate about the fact that we are looking to the oceans, to our water bodies for sustainable development of our nation. By deliberate, I'm talking about having the right policies. If you may know, there is the National Integrated
Maritime Strategy.
Maritime Strategy, the names.
Yeah.
That's it's an ongoing effort.
Yeah.
This should be pushed through. It should become a living document by which we abide to develop our maritime spaces. There are, within this strategy, there are various actions to involve women, to involve young people, to involve the media, to involve all the various functions that come together to make the maritime industry. So I will personally recommend going forward as a country, we should have a strategy for our ocean, and we should implement this strategy. And also we are encouraging support for most of these initiatives, like this one that the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute is championing, for young people to be actively brought on board as we develop our maritime spaces.
Okay.
I would also want, since this is the wrapping up, I would want to specially thank
I think we have lost Doc right there. Technology, they say you can't actually rely on. We are grateful to Dr. Alberta AMOAHMAH Sego, who is Executive Director of the Gulf of Guinea Institute. She joined us this evening, plus Bridget, who is in the studios. I understand today is your birthday. Happy birthday, blessed happy birthday to you, Bridget. Padiki Sylvester, Regional Maritime University. She's a student, a final year student, and she's one of the mentees, and she says she wants to do maritime law after first degree, and so we'll link you up with the right people who would mentor you to take that particular career path. Thank you very much indeed for coming this evening, and I wish you all the best as you celebrate your birthday. This is how we know the curtain on Iron Port here on Metro TV for tonight. Remember, the abridged version is aired on Metro Ghana Television, GTV, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. I am Kennedy Mona. Many thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL Company Limited, Serene Insurance, and Ghana Link Network Services, operators of the Integrated Customs Management System, ICOMS, in the ports. God willing, we shall be back your way with another edition of Iron Port. Have a super week ahead. Good evening.